I'll take your coat.
Thank you very much.
So come on down here out the way. Paul coming?
I just called him. He was about 10 minutes ago, he was on the M3 coming up to the A3 terminal. Yeah. Well, when you go through Ripley, if you go through the street, I mean the main centre, you'll come to a roundabout which will direct you left, and you follow that road.
Oh, change your way you live, and I don't know you at all.
I said, well, if you can't, like we said, if you can't make it, we'll just plough on. I don't know how, well, we would. No, you do. It's going to be, it'll be.
There's more money in ripping off old bluesmen than comedy. Look, check out the cars. Hello, Glyn. What was that, right? Hello, how you doing? You all right? Good to see you. Let's get indoors.
And I mean, I can't let you do it.
Well, it's very nice to be here with you two music greats.
Shall we introduce ourselves?
Oh, I was going to ask you. So you're legendary guitarist Eric Clapton and legendary producer Glyn Johns. So.
And yourself.
Well, first of all, I want to know which one of you is which. Hey?
The one with the grey hair.
The one with the grey hair.
Is the oldest. And he remembers everything, so you have to be very careful. He will be able to correct you on anything you say about.
Well, I'm hoping he's going to correct you, not me.
Well, he will do.
Right.
He will do. But, I mean, so he's been around about, what, 2 years longer?
Than you, probably, yeah, maybe a bit more.
Meaning when? So when did you start then?
59. Yeah.
Bloody hell, had music been invented then?
Just about, yeah.
You know, on the new album, I Still Do.
Yeah.
What do you still do?
It actually is a quote from my auntie who passed away the year before last. And I went to see her and I said to her, I just want to thank you, because I knew the time was running out for her. Yeah. And I said, I want to thank you for being who you were and looking after me when I was a little boy, and a difficult little boy. She said, well, I liked you, and I still do. I just thought that's it.
And what about you, Glyn? Did you echo that sentiment?
I didn't like it,
yeah,
but
now I do.
Yeah.
So you should have called it. Now I do.
Actually, I'm going off him again now.
Yeah.
Go to all this trouble.
I like it, this is lovely mix in here.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
When we started this album, right, him and me had the dinner, we decided to do the record. Then a year goes by and I start to formulate an idea of what I'm going to do. And as always, it all just dissolves. I don't know what I've got. I think I've got little bits and pieces, but covers come in. I'm always going to love doing covers. And we got studio time booked in Mark Knopfler's studio. It was a fantastic studio where you can do what we wanted to do with tape, and live and everything. And then I get eczema, all full body, and it goes into my hands during the first week of recording. So the whole session. All this month I was working with like mittens on and putting.
Well, you can't play guitar with mittens on, so
That's the back of the cover. When you see the artwork of this, is a portrait, very nice portrait of me done by Peter Blake, and on the back is a picture of my hand holding the guitar with a mitten, so that you can see my fingertips, and then band-aids, and then mittens.
We got through it. I say we, you did. I mean, it was extraordinary.
You play a lot of slide.
Well, that's why.
Because I ended up playing slide because...
You're a bit self-deprecating sometimes about things like that. I'm not going to bang on about this, but you are a little bit, you know. You said
not
to me,
anymore.
"Oh, I'm not very... I don't play a lot of slide. You know, I'm not very confident.
Well,
I don't
just,
pick. I'm not very confident." You've been doing it for years. You should be easily doing these things.
I do them easily.
Good, right, okay.
But I'm still going to be fairly detrimental about it. It's just a good way to be, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. I know you're not going to go.
It's called humility, for crying out loud.
Sorry, I don't understand that. What is it?
No,
Humility.
clearly.
Divine. No, but it's just a great guitar sound. I was trying to give Glyn some credit for that, but I'm afraid I have to give you some.
No, it's the same that we're partners. We're partners.
Well, I mean, there are 3 or 4, tracks off the album that are hardcore.
Yeah.
Old blues, aren't they?
Yeah, old school.
3
Stones
chords.
in my password.
Yes, which is a medical condition, isn't it? I was going to say you will sing the blues if you've got stones in your pathway.
Yeah.
I got a bird that wheels, and I have a bird to sing. And a bird to whistle, and I have a bird to sing. I have a woman that I'm loving, but she don't mean a thing. My enemies have betrayed me, overtaken Bob Bobby's line. My enemies have betrayed me, have overtaken Bob Bobby's line. And there's one thing certainly, I have stones all in my path. They tried to take my life and all my loving too. You laid a pathway for me. Now what are you trying to do? And I'm crying, please, please let us be friends. And if you hear me hollering in my pathway right up, won't you don't let me in? I got 3 legs to truck on. Boy, please don't block my road. Got 3 legs to truck on. Boy, please don't block my road. Been feeling the same about my rider. Lord, I'm booked and I got to go.
What's your favourite track off the album, Glyn? If you want it, I know it's probably a crass
Catch
question.
the Blues, probably, because it's so
Yeah.
completely, totally different.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I think it's just like floating around.
Yes, I love it.
It's a bit salsery, a little bit.
Yes.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Brazilian,
Yes.
yeah.
Very South American.
Yeah. And I felt maybe a little bit Steely Dan.
Yes. In the composition.
Don't you think?
Yeah, in the composition.
It's a great song. The rhythm section are astonishing. And I love the slide guitar playing.
Yeah.
I think it's extraordinary.
That's 106.
106? No, we don't want to go that fast. Try and take it down. I think it will always benefit from being slow at the pocket.
Okay.
Try 102. Yeah.
Somebody tell me how to talk to you. It ain't funny.
It ain't funny.
You might even catch the blues. And I'd be willing to bet you ain't got nothing to say. I ain't figured out yet how I've been getting in your way. Somebody tell me how to play for you. It ain't funny.
It ain't funny.
You might even catch the blues. Living in a world of pain. And I've been living in a world of pain. Without you making the difference, Lord, I'd be going insane. But I can't go on without calling out your name.
But that was the thing about the blues, is something about, for me, that is such a primal
Yeah.
thing.
It's visceral stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, you
It's
could
say it's
almost
three
play it-
chords.
you can play it
You
on
don't
all
really
time
need.
pilot.
You only really
You
need.
can.
Well, you certainly can, yes, that's for sure.
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
A lot of our early to-ins and fro-ins, I don't remember at all.
Do you remember the music though? Well, I
No.
suppose you could hear it.
No, not
afterwards,
really.
didn't it? As
You should
in-
read his book, because
Oh,
it's
well-
like he didn't like me at all.
Who didn't like you, Glyn?
He asked me if I would say something about the book, and I read the book, and it said, yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time. I wonder if we're still mates. And I got in touch. So we had dinner, and it came to like, we should do something again. It's 40 years. And it was like 40 years.
Is it really? What? It's been 40 years
40
since
years. So I think,
You're scared of him then?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think he is, you know. But you're a boss, aren't you, really?
We both had our problems when we were younger, I suppose. I wasn't always the nicest person to be around either, I guess. In the earlier days, when Eric was going through what he calls his black period, which basically was substance abuse of one sort or another, I found him quite difficult to be around. And actually, he wasn't alone. There were a lot of people who were doing the same as him, and they weren't that easy to deal with.
Yeah.
But they weren't that pleasant to be around a lot of the time. And I thought life was too short to have to deal with all that. So, and I never took any notice of him. I just thought, oh, he's a creep.
Yeah, but you did have to sort of put it together. It was like they weren't going to be able to put all the pieces in the box, were they? At the end of the day, I mean, it was someone.
No, I think the reason why I worked as much, as frequently as I did, nearly everybody I worked with was out of it on something, and I was straight, and so there was somebody who had the reins who actually
could deliver the
knew
good.
what the time was.
The first time we were, I think the first was what I did when Pete Townsend tried to rescue me from my own self-destruction and put together this gig at the Rainbow, and there were rehearsals
when was
and
this,
everything. Oh no, was it? I don't know. Yeah, it was in the
71 or something.
71, something like that. And I had no real inclination. Right. I was pretending, you know, that, I'll just sort of, I'll go along with this. And I was even late on the night of the show. I don't remember how I got there. And
He's
had a
been
white
late for his
suit
own
on.
funeral.
I know. And they recorded it, and it was going to be a product. It was going to be live at the Rainbow. And Glyn, at some point during the process, was asked to mix this. And I was supposed to be there to give him a little bit of feedback, and I didn't show. And that was his first experience, I think, of me, wasn't it?
It was.
Or was it worse than that?
No, I went to all the rehearsals.
He's known you for 3 years, but you don't remember it.
Pete asked me to get involved from the very beginning,
I didn't
so
know
I
that.
went to all the rehearsals and helped them with,
Yeah.
putting the material together. And you can't mix an artist's work and then not have them approve of what you're up to, really. I mean, because it's
You can, actually.
Well, no, you can,
but
I don't
that's
agree
not
with that.
how you
I
work.
never. Okay, well, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, in this particular instance, I went in to mix at Olympic Studios, and Eric didn't show, and I just rang up and said, "Well, I'm out of here. I can't be doing it. I can't be bothered. I've got better things to do than sit around."
But when you were trying to salvage that Rainbow ordeal, I was on a very difficult substance. I was on heroin.
Yes.
And that is a really difficult substance to deal with, or for if you're on it, if you've got to deal with people who are on it. They're really. No, well, you know.
Stop bigging it up. It's only a bit of smack.
So what happened then?
There were a couple of things that needed fixing. In fact, there was quite a lot that needed fixing. You didn't play particularly well that night. And so I said, it's not in your best interest to release this like it is. And you do need to come in and fix some stuff. Which you didn't do. So I said, well, in that case, you haven't got an album.
Can you still buy that?
Probably.
Would anyone want to?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
So far, it's not been a great recommendation, has it?
But I think it's interesting. Still, just
Great rhythm section.
Brilliant rhythm play.
They were, yeah.
But that's a very inauspicious start, isn't it, for the pair of you? So how did you get over that then?
Pete and Ronnie Lane decided they wanted to make an album together. Pete Townsend and Ronnie Lane. They called me up and asked me to produce it. And he's written this instrumental. And he said, I want Eric to play this. And now my last experience of Eric was not that wonderful. So I said, oh, God, we don't want him really. So he said, listen, he said, I'm not asking, I'm telling you, Eric's going to come and play this. So shut up. He plays brilliantly, actually, on the thing. And I thought, oh, well, that's fair enough. And because of Pete's relationship with him, probably more than anything, and but I guess you knew Ronnie quite well, you came by the studio the next day, and you came by the next day. And then we wanted to put a dobra on one of Ronnie Lane's songs, and Eric was sitting in the control room, so he went out and played it, and it was absolutely brilliant what he did, and it's completely won me over as to... I then finally, like a twat, realised who I was dealing with, you know. And at the end of the week, he came to me and said, will you produce my next record? And I went, yes, please. And that was Slowhand.
Oh, all right.
The thing that I loved about working with Glyn, and say it in front of him, is he recognises when the band is on to something. He really is quick to observe that and know that we've got to get this on tape.
Right.
You know,
so on the album then, this I Still Do, how many takes would you do of each song?
Well, it varied a bit, depending on the complexity of the material, but it was all relatively quick, in fact. I mean, no more than 3 or 4 takes, maybe, would be it.
The St. Augustine's, the Bob Dylan track, and there's an upright bass on that, isn't there, and an acoustic and a piano accordion on that as well?
That's right, yeah.
A regular upright piano.
Yeah.
That was done in the round, everybody sitting around in a semicircle. Right.
I saw St. Augustine, alive as you want me, tearing to these quarters in the utmost misery, with a blanket underneath his arm, cold and solid gold, searching for the very soul, ready had been sold. Arise, crying so loud in a voice without restraint. Come out, you gifted kings and queens, hear my second breath. No martyr is among you now, you can call your own. Oh, go on your way accordingly, no, you're not alone.
I think always I've had this thing about paying tribute to someone or saying thank you, or just even if it's not official, it's unofficial. This is me just saying thank you very much. But I like it all. I think it's a good album, and it is. It's rough and ready, you know.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
And what, you know, blues and a lot of the stuff you like is quite slow to mid tempo. Isn't it? So I think having that sort of rough around the edges feel gives it a bit of an energy and an edge. It's hardcore blues with quite a dirty guitar sound. It's quite loose. But and a bit swampy here and there, isn't it? It's great. I love it. But how much of that is you and how much of that is...
Well,
I forgot his name again.
It's clearly all him and the musicians that are playing it.
Right.
And what I know about Glyn and what he made clear at some point during those conversations was that I'm only going to do it on tape, and only really, if possible, on 16 tracks.
Right.
So that, okay, now... For a lot of people, that isn't going to actually be possible. To do it well, if you're going to start overdubbing, you're in trouble. You really want to get live performance. Have one mic, and everybody's on it.
Right.
Drums, guitars, vocal, and you record that on tape, and then it's mixed like that. That is like it's
well, I think
so
it
old.
comes across on the album. It doesn't sound. I say it's not a criticism. It's actually a positive thing. It doesn't sound really polished. You can hear the accordion, you know. You can hear the slide. You can hear some clunks, and it's great. That's what you want.
I like that too.
You have to have it, don't you?
Yeah. I think Spiral. I wasn't sure, but it was interesting. Thing was, we had this riff. I had this riff that when Glyn came over to the house and I was playing it around with Andy Fairweather, and we were trying to find her, and it was one of those things where we put it on the floor in the studio, and it still didn't have a song. It wasn't a song. It was just a series of chord changes.
But it was great, though.
And then we just started playing it to see what would emerge. You can do that, you know. You can create a song if you get the right energy. We ended up trying to make it better by writing a bit another and slotting that in, and it didn't work. So that was interesting because Glyn got it and saw it, and I followed him on that and said,
it's quite sort of moody.
It's a very, very nice. It was born there on the spot. And
it was an extraordinary moment, without any question at all. I always loved the chord sequence that you've been playing. I thought it was, and I kept going on. You got to finish it. You got to, because it's going to be great.
Keep playing my song, hoping that I get along. You don't know how much it means to have this music in me.
from there, do you think we go to the 4 again, or is that just a one visit?
Do you enjoy playing rhythm guitar?
I do love it, yeah, I love it. Would it?
Well, I think you would, actually.
Well, it's all over this album.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You do hear, you know, it's quite a lot of rhythm that you can hear over it. And I've always noticed that about you. Obviously, you're known for your, you know, lead playing, really. That's what's... But there's a lot of...
Well, I think it was a point in the 70s when I discovered what J.J. Cale was doing, that was the kind of epitome of rhythm playing.
Driving, yeah.
It was very, you know, James Brown type. I mean, it was very black, and it was very... He had all of that stuff in one thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I thought, well, that's artistry in itself. And that, so towards the beginning and through the 70s, I was really inspired by that and thought, well, actually, the first thing I'll do is get next to the drummer and the bass player and compliment, just try and tuck in with them. That's the thing. That's the happiest place to be on stage. No one's looking at you. You're not attracting any attention. You're in the music.
Reluctant guitar hero, aren't you? Eh?
No, that is being a guitar hero, you see.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's...
Flashiness doesn't...
No, twiddly, all that.
Twiddly.
No, twiddly diddly.
So we had some really interesting players on the whole album, but for some of the tracks I wanted to bring in, and that was one of them, this guy called Dirk Powell, who plays accordion, who plays mandolin and fiddle. Right. And I also wanted to bring in Walt Richmond, from Tulsa, who's used to be on JJ's records a lot, because he's really very simple, kind of, what's the word, atmospheric player. He just can set the tone, you know. I like some songs like I'll Be Seeing You. Yeah. And he'll know how to play those things in the way that they used to be played. You know?
So when you were singing I'll Be Seeing You and I'll Be All Right, both of those songs, which just seem very personal. Who are you thinking of when you're singing it?
Everybody, really. It's just bye.
Right, but it is.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be all right someday. If in my heart I do not give, then I'll be all right someday. I'll overcome. I'll overcome. I'll overcome someday.
So what did you use then? Just to be a bit nerdy.
Well, I use a little Fender Vibrolux, which is, I mean, it's about a foot high. Or no, it's bigger, maybe 18 inches high. In here, it would be quite loud, but in a venue, you lose it. If you turn the amp up full and you play at that level, it means all the other players have got to play at that. So the drummer's got to play at a level where he can hear you. It dictates, if you like, the groove. So that I was using a little Fender Vibrolux for the whole album, really.
Right. And what guitar?
Strat or Gibson 335.
So
That's just those two.
So Alabama Women, which is very sort of traditional.
Oh, that was a 335.
Blues,
Just
right?
slide.
Okay, yeah.
All the slide I did.
Right, all the slides. So
mainly on the Gibson ES335. Right. Yeah.
Okay, but you use a Strat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much for slide though.
No.
I don't know. I think it's just a little bit more difficult. You've got to set the action up differently. I think.
Ever go down on Mobile and Cassie line? Ever go down on the Mobile and Cassie line? I just want to ask you, you ever see that gal of mine? I rode to Central and I hustled the L&N. I rode to Central, I hustled the L&N. Alabama women, they look like such a man. Don't cry, baby, Papa will be home someday. Don't cry, baby, Papa will be home someday. I went away, baby, but I did not go to stay. On the cloud look lonesome, across the deep blue sea.
I was going to ask you about something that I think has been a good tag for you, which is slow hand. I think it's a really good nickname for a blues guitarist.
When we were starting up, Hamish gave me the nickname Slow Hand, and it went on. We did an album called 5 Live Yardbirds, and it went into the text on the back of that album. Yeah. So people who bought that album read, oh, yeah, Slow Hand. Yeah. And I got lumber with it, and I thought, well,
don't you think? It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I ever really thought about employing it was when we did that album, because I thought, well, actually, it really fits that kind of, the atmosphere we were trying to create there, which was, it was a bit anti-Guitar Hero, really.
Right.
That album was really much more about songs and grooves.
I've worked with lots of really good guitar players, and the biggest difference with Eric is he absolutely, very rarely in my experience with him anyway, sits and figures something out to the nth degree. Most of it is an emotive response to what he's hearing around him or to what the song suggests or whatever else. And if you do 3 takes, they'll all be different completely. You never play the same thing twice. And that is the process of never letting your brain interfere with your emotion. And so it goes straight from his heart to his fingers. That's what I believe.
So you happy with it?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Good. Should we have something to eat?
Well, if we don't, we'll die.
Well, it's that time.
And I think it's probably
There you
time.
are.
It is time for you gentlemen to go back to the home now, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the van here.
Isn't it?
It's the van here.
Yes. But they do look after you well, though, don't they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, lovely day out, really. Nice in the sunshine. Sit in the sunshine.
Yeah.
Can you warm me nearer the door?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a new album out, you know. Yes, that's right, Mr. Clapton. You have, yes.
Yes.
Very good it is too.
Lovely. Great.
Excellent.
Somebody knocking on my door. Somebody knocking on my door. Well, it must be my woman coming round here from home. Somebody whispered in my ear. Somebody whispered in my ear. Well, it must be my woman. I can feel her when she's near. can get down now. She can get right down. Well, it must be my woman. Pick me up when I am down. Somebody knocking on my door.
There's only one way you should play Crossroads, right? I'm telling you
Wrong
now.
version. Wrong version.
No. Well.
No, totally disagree.
Well, I don't, and I'm a
Totally
fan,
disagree.
and you have to listen to me on
Sometimes.
this. No, you do, and all you lot, you know, right?
You lot.
You people, you do a great song and then you muck about with it, and you shouldn't muck about with it. Layla, you know, dum 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 dum. No,
Oh,
no,
no, okay.
That's what we want.
Can
We
have
don't
two
do-
versions. Can't have the other
No.
version. You should have met the two of them because they would come over here.
Really, I'm still recovering from Auntie Sylvia. It was harrowing enough, and it was about a year ago.
Well, she
I
thinks
dropped my glass on the.
you
flagstones.
remind her of her husband. You see, my uncle, and you are very much like my uncle.
Really? I'll tell you that's a compliment. Now, see, a lot of guitarists say, I picked up a guitar because I wanted all the, you know, the chicks. I'm using that word ironically. So was there a bit of that? No. Never.
No,
you
but
didn't
you see,
think,
I-
hey, I can
no,
get
no.
girls this way. Yeah?
No. Terrified of girls.
Well, that's what I was going to ask Glyn, but is that why you went into producing?
I can smell the shepherd.
Yeah, I can smell the shepherd's pie. Yeah. Okay.
All of this.
You're old
This is the
rockers
stuff
and rollers,
that you-
aren't you?
Yeah.
Where are you? Sure you are, actually.
No.
Oh.
What does it take?
You're more bluesy, aren't you?
Ooh, yeah, yes.